Okay, it's just a few minutes after 1, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Before we dive in, we just want to note that all cameras and mics are disabled for the presentation. We will offer a live Q&A at the end of the presentation where you can come off of your mic and come on camera and ask a question. Welcome, everyone. We appreciate you being here today. This workshop is optional, and it's designed to share best practices for preparing a compelling global luxury listing presentation. If you choose to adopt any of these strategies, please consult with your branch manager to ensure compliance with your local regulations, especially regarding consumer contact.
As a real estate agent, you can tap into AI tools like Microsoft Copilot, which is our recommended tool, to create reports, presentations, emails, and marketing materials. It can help streamline tasks and boost efficiency, but remember, AI isn't always spot on, so it is essential you proofread and ensure the information is accurate, because ultimately you are responsible for the content. When using AI-generated content, consider adding a disclosure, such as content generated with AI assistance. Also, stay compliant with copyright laws, ethical standards, and fair housing regulations. Lastly, exercise good judgment, protect confidential information, and review AI-generated content thoughtfully. We also want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, better known as TCPA. The general rules are that it's okay to call people if the person recently gave you their phone number, but remember to check the DNC list regularly if they haven't spoken to that person or contacted the lead in a while. You will also want to check the DNC list anytime you don't have express permission. Automated calling or texting platforms should never be used. Pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should never be used. You will be personally liable for any violations of the TCPA. We have a do not contact tile on desk that can be used to look up a contact or contact information. Now that the fun's out of the way, let's get started.
As you may be aware, Coldwell Banker Realty has committed to increase support for our luxury business, specifically through the expansion of our luxury marketing team. This expansion is what makes opportunities like this course possible, amongst other great projects that this more robust team is working on. Let's introduce today's presenters. My name is Christina Larson. I'm the Luxury Marketing Manager for Florida and Mid-Atlantic regions, and I'm joined by Zach White, who is the Luxury Marketing Specialist in Southern California, and we're here to help you elevate your listing presentation preparation. In today's workshop and conversation, we'll focus on preparing for a luxury listing presentation. Instead of showing you how to use some of our products, such as Moxy Present, we want to focus on the strategy and the preparation that goes into preparing for a listing presentation. We also want to note that there is a difference between preparing to create the listing presentation and preparing to present. Knowledge is power, and today we will share some ideas and opportunities for property and client discovery, leveraging some of our resources. We'll explore how to create a luxury listing presentation in Moxy and incorporate custom external PDFs. You can share your presentation in both print and digital formats. We will also dive into tailored marketing proposals and custom advertising options for your luxury listings. The Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Talking Points are a great resource, and later on we will discuss best practices for their use and how to incorporate those into your presentation. Finally, we'll cover supplemental presentation resources available through XpressDocs and options for further customization. Let's get into some discussion on what property discovery really means.
So property discovery doesn't just entail finding out how many bedrooms the home has or the square footage, though that is important to know. We want to ensure you're not only positioned as the luxury expert, you have the knowledge and information to back it up. It is important to review and select comps or produce a comprehensive CMA, but familiarity of the neighborhood, architectural style, and unique features along with the history of the home is equally important to assess. You should have a comprehensive knowledge of the neighborhood, whether it's a gated historical community to minute information, such as what day street cleaning is. It would be rather discrediting to display yourself as a neighborhood expert, only to get a parking ticket right after delivering your presentation. You can use a variety of sources during your property discovery. I personally consistently recommend to agents I work with to pull a title report for the subject property prior to even considering opening their CMA tool. This allows you to gain a first look at who the seller is from a documentation perspective, as well as recorded information on the property. By researching the listing history on the MLS, you could run into an instance where the property was recently listed by another brokerage or another CB agent. Research how the property was marketed previously, the previous price, and review property marketing materials. You can also utilize MarketQuest to get a detailed and pre-branded transaction history of the area, informing you and your potential client about the trends such as average days on market, average list price, and other critical information. Consider the story behind the property and how you would tell that story through your marketing efforts. Be sure to register for our upcoming classes that dive further into this, such as marketing your luxury listings and the art of storytelling. Beyond local marketing data and stats, our mid-year report, which we'll mention again during the presentation, is a great resource to extract data and trends from. Many of the data points and trends can help you prepare for the listing presentation, provide talking points, and start conversations with your prospective seller, further reinforcing your credibility. Beyond the MLS and title reports, you'll want to use a search engine or search Microsoft Copilot to see if any media or PR was done for the property. Past PR is important to be aware of as well if you intend to include this as part of your presentation strategy prior to connecting with our PR team. Once you have completed research on the property, consider contacting the luxury marketing team who can help connect you to the PR team on your behalf and inform them of the possibility of this listing. The PR team can share any requests they are getting from media outlets that align with the property. Some publications require their piece be published in conjunction with the listing going live, so prior notice and proper planning is key. Following a thorough review of the property and neighborhood, you should be gaining a better understanding of your prospective client via client discovery.
In preparation for the listing appointment, you should spend some time learning about your prospective seller, their motives to sell, and what's important to them. Just as property discovery is crucial in your preparation, client discovery is equally as important. You can start by looking a client up online through social media. LinkedIn is always my first stop, and it's a great place to start. You can see information on a client's employment, their education, maybe where they went to school, what they studied. Oftentimes, someone's career and educational background may help you steer your preparation for a listing presentation. For example, if you're meeting with a seller who is a data analyst, you will likely want to tailor your presentation to be data heavy and incorporate the mid-year report, a very comprehensive CMA, and have all the market data prepared in advance. Luxury sellers will often make decisions based on lifestyle preferences. So consider positioning the property in a way that aligns with their lifestyle narrative. Wealth Engine is a great resource. It's a third-party tool available exclusive to luxury property specialists, and it has a variety of use cases. Of course, you can use the prospecting tool to curate a niche list of prospective buyers for a property, but Wealth Engine also allows you to look up an address or an individual. And you can see with the few screenshots on the screen, this is what you can expect when you search an address in Wealth Engine. For confidentiality reasons, we blocked off the names of the owners of this address, their past address, and their contact information. You will see a few names associated with an address in most cases, and at a quick glance, you can see their wealth score, their age, spouse, and net worth. On the right side of the screen, once we click on the name, the available contact information will be displayed here, and this will allow you to go into the listing presentation with an understanding of the seller's real estate portfolio and as much information as possible. And below are a few additional screenshots of kind of what that dashboard looks like in Wealth Engine. Again, this is a great step when you're in the client discovery phase of preparation. This is one of the first things I do when I'm meeting with agents in conversation for a listing presentation. And again, you're going to be able to see all of their past addresses and current addresses if they own multiple properties. You can see their past employers, income, assets, stocks, giving capacity, cash on hand, and so much more. You can even print the client profile page, and you can get all that personalized information to help you guide the conversation with that seller. And maybe you see the client owns a property in Colorado in addition to Florida. Maybe you can discuss hobbies such as skiing or hiking to build that personal connection in the listing presentation. And Wealth Engine can also be discussed when you're in that listing presentation with the seller. You could even review a prospect list prior to taking the listing appointment and share with the seller that you've curated a list of 300 individuals whose lifestyle attributes, wealth, and demographics align with the property. Some of your marketing efforts would be tailored to that specific niche group of individuals. This prospecting tool can help you find a very specific buyer. You can search again by location, age, net worth, assets, real estate portfolio, education, profession, and employment. You can even add unique filters down to the type of car that someone drives. You can put in broad interests such as boating and even more specific interests like large sale sailing. This allows you to go far beyond the numbers and the data and find a unique buyer that aligns with the unique attributes for that listing. Though all of the contact information is available in Wealth Engine, we would never recommend calling, emailing, or direct mailing to these consumers that you're pulling from Wealth Engine. Rather, we recommend exporting a CSV file and then putting that CSV file into a boost ad, and you can more subtly target those individuals. This is also helpful because the ads essentially follow the consumers around regardless of where they're searching online. So they could be on social media, Facebook or Instagram, maybe they're on ESPN, HGTV, and they're going to consistently see the ad. The options in Wealth Engine are endless. We find it to be such a powerful tool in not only prospecting, but again, looking up a seller prior to the listing appointment. We will share some additional information and resources on how to sign up for the Wealth Engine platform if you're not already signed up at the end of our workshop today. Our team partners with agents all the time leveraging this tool. I partnered with an agent not too long ago. They had a recent listing very, very close to a hospital, and it was priced around $5 million. So first, we went into Wealth Engine and we targeted individuals who lived in this area. And then we targeted individuals who were employed at that hospital, who had a specific level of education and a specific level of income that would be needed to purchase a home of that amount. And then we created a very unique list of individuals to market to. One of our other teammates had a listing with a 30-car garage. It's a dream to many, but most people don't need a 30-car garage. So we went into Wealth Engine and searched for individuals who had a car collection and a specific number of cars. So using those unique lifestyle attributes is a great way to find a very specific buyer. Zach, I know you use Wealth Engine all the time. Do you have an example you can share?
I sure do. I've got a couple in mind. One of them, a notable example I can think of super recently. I was working with an agent who had a very nice listing on a very large golf course down here in Southern California. We were able to utilize his Wealth Engine access to target specifically clients who have a golf interest, along with other factors such as their net worth and things of that nature, to be more specific in our marketing efforts. But that's one side of the usage of this tool. Another, I also work with agents who utilize sort of the client perspective that we saw earlier to get a full scope of the client that they're going to present to. So that allows you to be aware of things like their charitable organizations that they're affiliated with, a better sense of their full real estate portfolio, as well as their general interests. So when you go into that listing presentation, you're better able to connect with that individual, which is really important because now we need to actually preparing for the presentation.
We'll transition now into how to prepare for the presentation itself. Coldwell Banker Realty has some amazing options for agents to use for global luxury listings that meet the qualifying threshold. Preparation is crucial, and as we know, in most cases, you don't have days or weeks to prepare for a listing appointment. Often it's a day or 2 days. Sometimes it's just a few hours notice. So ensuring that you have a professional, customized luxury listing presentation ready to go is so important. With the options that are available in both Moxy Present and Marketing Center, you can build and customize a global luxury listing presentation quickly and efficiently. These tools also allow for easy distribution of the finalized presentation. Maybe you want to present this digitally on an iPad or laptop. You can also print this and bind this. So today we'll be demoing Moxy Present, and Moxy Present is a powerful presentation tool. It allows you as the agent to build interactive and branded presentations. Moxy Present, you can create a CMA, an open house presentation, buyer tours, and more. And if you're not familiar with Moxy Present, we recommend taking one of the workshops that are hosted by the field marketing team for a more in-depth training. We would also like to highlight that the luxury listing presentation is also available in Marketing Center. So depending on your preferred format for presentation, Marketing Center has some additional optional pages. It allows you to embed the presentation on your website, or you could publish to the web and present it as a flipbook online. Again, we're not going to be going into too much detail on how to use these tools. So if any training is needed, please check out the CBR Marketing Workshops YouTube channel if you're interested in self-paced courses, or you could always join a live workshop by the field marketing team. Our team is hosting a workshop on presenting the listing presentation and best practices for delivery of all of the information we're covering today, and it will be hosted in the coming weeks, and it's a great follow-up to today's conversation. And as noted previously, if you are looking for something fully custom, we do have options through Design Concierge. We could then have the presentation uploaded as a usable template into Moxy Present. Again, we'll touch on that later. So we're going to go ahead and get into a live demo.
So now Christina's going to take us into Moxy Present, which is going to be the standard platform that has a great option and has our updated 2025 Global Luxury Listing presentation in it. So all the data in here is going to be up to date as of 2024's closing, which is really great, really handy to have. You want to make sure you are #1 on the list as far as your information accuracy.
So as always, we'll start in mycbdesk.com and you'll navigate to the MoxyWorks tile. Once you're in MoxyWorks, you'll select Present at the top of the screen. This is where you'll see all of your past presentations that you've created in Moxy Present. To create a new one, we'll navigate to the top right corner and select Create New. We'll select Seller for the presentation type and then Continue. This step is crucial. Right here, we see brokerage templates. You'll need to select the drop down, and the global luxury seller presentation is listed under the Coldwell Banker parent company templates. You might have to scroll a little bit. It's titled Global Luxury Seller CB Realty. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now for the presentation name, you have a couple options. You could put in the property address, you could put in the seller's name, you could also just call it listing presentation. We'll just put in the property address for today's example and then create. It might take a minute or two to create that presentation. Wonderful. Before we dive into some of the customization options, I would like to highlight that this presentation can incorporate a CMA if you choose. So right here where we have subject property, this is where you would put in all of the property details for the listing presentation. You could also add the MLS ID and automatically pull some of those details over. This is tied to the MLS, so you can quickly and easily add comps. Again, we're not going to be doing that today. So I'm going to navigate to Pages right here at the top, and that's going to take me to all of the presentation pages that are included. Here on the left, you can see this is everything that is included by default in the luxury listing presentation. As Zach mentioned, this is our updated presentation, so this includes all of our 2024 data and notable quotes. So you can go through and see all of the pages. Beautiful imagery. Now, one thing you may or may not have noticed, at the top of each page, we have this very thin Coldwell Banker blue banner. So it's not really consistent with the luxury branding and look and feel I'm going for. So you can change that by selecting presentation and then branding. So this is something you'll want to make sure you do prior to printing or sending this off to a client. You'll see the Coldwell Banker Realty is the default, and we have the option to select Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. That'll change the branding on all of the pages. Might take a moment, and then apply in the top right corner. Wonderful. Now, if you have your own agent logo that you use on your marketing, you do have the ability to incorporate that into the presentation as well. Just below the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury, you'll see additional logos and then the option to upload a personal logo. Again, we won't go through that today, but just know that is an option for you to include in your presentation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to the presentation, and we can see we now have the seamless black and white global luxury branding. Now, let's say we would like to add some additional content from what's already here. If you navigate to Add Page, you can either add from the library. This will show all of the options that Coldwell Banker has provided, or you can create new and upload your own PDFs. So I'm first going to check out what we have in the library. Under report pages, these will be all of your CMA pages if you do decide to incorporate that in your presentation. And maybe we'd like to include an agent bio page or about me page. You have the option to include this agent profile page listed under the report pages. Just note that the agent profile page is pulling from your bio in CB Desk. It's pulling your bio, your headshot, and all of your contact information. So be mindful of that. Now, if I'd like to add some additional content, you can select Coldwell Banker parent company pages and see all of the optional pages. There's quite a few in here. I'd like to highlight Listing Concierge because I would definitely be using Listing Concierge for my luxury listing. So that's going to be under Spotlight Marketing. And this is going to be a high price listing, so we're going to go with the Luxe package. So I'm going to quickly preview this and go ahead and just add this to the presentation.
Now, since Christine has just added this, we're going to take a second real quick to note that there's two different sections in here. One of them, the Spotlight Marketing pages, are separated out from a second folder that you see, which is the Global Luxury Listing Concierge pages. So Christina didn't necessarily make a mistake because we do want to make sure we show you guys how to remove a page in case you add the wrong one. But in this case, we want to make sure that we add the Global Luxury Spotlight Marketing pages because we want to make sure we have a cohesive presentation, right? And since we have Global Luxury oriented Spotlight Marketing pages, let's make sure we add that one.
Thank you, Zach. Now we're going to navigate back to pages. You'll see our page count has increased. And now we have two versions of the Spotlight Marketing. You'll see they're pretty similar, but the Global Luxury branding one is going to have slightly different fonts and a slightly different look. So to remove a page, you're just going to select the X to the right, and that will remove the page from your presentation. And if you need to change the order of your presentation at all, you'll simply click and drag and drop, and that will change the order. Now, if you'd like to upload any external PDFs, you'll select Add Page and then Create New, and then upload PDF pages. Zach, if you were creating a listing presentation, what would you include?
No problem. So there's a couple things. We talked a little bit earlier about the bio page that comes through the report pages. Now, I personally recommend folks go through the process of creating their custom agent bio page on Marketing Center, pulling that PDF and uploading it into their Moxy Present presentation, mainly because the agent bio page from Moxy, I've had a lot of questions about, oh, this bio is not the way I want it laid out, or the font doesn't really match the rest of the presentation. So this way, everything becomes one cohesive unit. Same way we were talking about the Spotlight Marketing pages, but there are other pages that you can add as well, such as sales history in the area. That helps establish your credibility with that seller, prospective seller. Or client testimonials. Again, just reinforcing your capacity to operate in that neighborhood, in that network. Maybe potentially that client recognizes someone in that testimonial that they now know that you worked with. And that might be the way in which you get that listing. So anything's possible, but reinforcing and making sure that everything is cohesive is important.
Yes, absolutely. Now, once you're happy with your presentation, you've added your external PDFs, you've ensured everything is placed as you'd like it. You have a couple options on how you'd like to present this. So if you navigate to View in the top right, you'll see you have a few options. You have the web version. So again, if you like to do your presentation on an iPad, a laptop, you do have the web version here, and it's going to automatically format the pages perfect. You also have the ability to download the PDF print version, either portrait or landscape. So it does take a few minutes to generate here since this is a larger file. But if you are printing this presentation, make sure to print the PDF version to ensure that all of the formatting is consistent and spot on. You could always bind this or have this professionally printed.
Yep, and all of our lovely imagery within this presentation is high resolution images, so it will print nicely, but that's the reason this sometimes takes a little bit, because it's got to process all of those high resolution images.
And just great imagery for this new presentation. And finally, if you would like to email this to a client, you have the send option and you can email it directly to the client. You can leave a personalized message. You can include yourself on this email. And Zach, what do you have to say about PDF versus sending the web presentation? Any preference?
Yes, always. You see that little check mark right in the middle where it says send PDF, either portrait or landscape, whichever you prefer. But personally, I always recommend the agents select either one of those two options. It doesn't add it as an attachment to the email, so you don't have to worry about the file size is too big. It won't go. That's not a concern here. The bigger concern is making sure that the media is accessible in whatever format your client wants. And the worst thing that can happen is you send it and not click either of those, and then they come back and ask you for a PDF anyway. So we try and avoid that wherever possible. And with our demo being done, we're going to move back into the presentation real quick. We're going to talk a little bit now about our amazing property marketing proposals. So our luxury marketing team, when you have exceptional listings or opportunities to present, we're happy to collaborate with you and create a tailored and unique property marketing proposal. In addition to your listing presentation, the marketing proposal takes a deep dive into all of the marketing that will be done to showcase that unique listing. The Deluxe Listing Concierge is always our starting point for the marketing proposal, and from there, we'll discuss differing advertising options and partnerships that align with your marketing budget and the unique listing itself. With the Deluxe Listing Concierge package, there are enhancements at certain price points that can be further discussed with your local luxury marketing team. It is best to plan ahead. After you research the property, comps in the neighborhood, you'll likely have a better idea of your marketing budget for this property, which is always helpful to know when discussing paid ads. For example, if the luxury property is an acreage or a ranch estate qualities, we could explore options through land.com or the Land Report magazine. For a property that has a large boat dock, maybe a boat lift or a boathouse, we could explore ad options through Boats International, Cruising World, maybe Sailing World. And additionally, as mentioned before, in conversations with the luxury marketing team, we can discuss some unique features and characteristics that set this property apart from the rest. We can connect with our PR team and see if there are any opportunities for earned media. Now let's take a look at some information related to those paid advertisements I brought up earlier. So here you can see a sample of the marketing proposal put together by our advertising partners, as well as a sample ad for a previous property. Intentional and targeted advertising is crucial on high value listings, as it's imperative you get the property in front of the clientele who will be able to engage in the transaction. Being prepared for this process involves utilizing that knowledge of the property we gained earlier, as well as having the knowledge of the budget you plan to put towards marketing the listing. Having that knowledge before you go into the listing presentation makes you more secure in your vision of selling the listing, passing that confidence throughout your presentation. You can further that confidence by having an intimate knowledge of the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury talking points found on desk, which reinforce our dominance in the luxury market. So the talking points cover a variety of information, ranging from our heritage in the luxury space to our expansive online syndication. Feel free to review them and note that the left portion is related to the information within the presentation, whereas the right column is further information and ways to present or elaborate on the various statistics. My personal favorite is the fact that we as a brokerage have been operating in the luxury space for over 119 years. When you think about all the top names in fashion, automotive, and jewelry, they all have a pedigree establishing their place in the luxury sphere. And Christina, what were your top takeaways from the talking points?
I think my top takeaway is that our marketing is specifically designed to reach those affluent consumers. It's not by chance, it's thoughtfully and strategically designed to reach those affluent consumers. And our Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Program offers world-class marketing platform that's thoughtfully designed to engage those buyers at every touch point. And with our 360-degree marketing approach, you seamlessly integrate every element of luxury marketing to effectively target those qualified buyers internationally. And some of the topics we mentioned today, such as Wealth Engine, it's just that. It's a strategically designed tool to target and reach those consumers. And again, the talking points, they were just updated. They can be found on desk under Global Luxury and Listing Presentation, or you can just search talking points in desk. And we'll be discussing how to use those talking points in more detail in one of our upcoming workshops, delivering the listing presentation. And in preparation for your luxury listing appointment, you may want to look at some of our offerings through XpressDocs. They offer a variety of materials, such as our global luxury presentation boxes, marketing brochures, the trend and mid-year report, and these supplemental resources, in addition to your listing presentation, help you create a very polished and professional image. It's always best to have these materials on hand and in advance. You never know when you may get the opportunity for a luxury listing presentation. Don't forget other materials such as your global luxury business cards and other print pieces when you're in XpressDocs. If you'd like to have your listing presentation professionally printed, you can order that through XpressDocs as well. In addition, you can customize our mid-year report, which is full of incredible data, trends, and takeaways, and you can include that in your listing presentation bundle. Again, this is really positioning you as the true luxury expert on your marketplace. All of your materials will have a cohesive look and luxurious feel. It's so important to plan ahead and make sure you have all of these resources before you get that call. And when you're preparing for a luxury listing appointment, it's essential that you position yourself as the trusted advisor and true expert in the high-end market. Thoughtfully curated, tangible, leave-behind materials not only reinforce your brand's sophistication, they also solidify your value proposition and they leave a lasting impression that reflects the elevated experience that you deliver. Zach, what if I want a listing presentation that's one of a kind? I want it so unique. Something that reflects the distinctiveness of my brand and the caliber of the service that I provide to my clients. I want something that sets me apart and speaks to my unique value and leaves a lasting impression. What should I do?
Well, that's easy. You go to Design Concierge. With Design Concierge, you have the ability to work with a designer to create a comprehensive listing presentation that's fully customized, from fonts or color scheme to design supplemental pages such as testimonials and recent sales. You can include all of your personal branding and have it completely tailored to you and your business. This is a lengthy project and requires you to have your ducks in a row as it relates to any supplemental information you'd like to include, but overall, the product is well worth it. Bringing your own unique style enables you to be iconic, not just to that client, but to the other clients they show your presentation to. You can find out more about the custom listing presentation options from Design Concierge in our upcoming advanced workshop. Make sure to review the Design Concierge portfolio for inspiration and samples of their work. We have many more exciting luxury-focused workshops coming up. Please note that our advanced and unlocked workshops will take an even deeper dive into presenting the listing presentation and perfecting your value proposition in any situation. Don't forget to visit coldwellbankermarketing.com for access to the marketing catalog, on-demand education, and to book virtual meeting marketing appointments. You'll also find links to the global luxury identity standards, concierge auctions, and more. You can find links to the various resources noted throughout the presentation in the chat in just a moment.